Thank you, Proactive, for sponsoring this portion of the podcast. Exciting news, Proactive has just launched their newest skincare innovation, Proactive Clean. Proactive Clean is a gentle skincare routine formulated to clear mild acne to occasional breakouts for sensitive skin.
This is so exciting for me. I am a Proactive user. I was all through my 20s and 30s. It's the only line that kept my skin clear. And if you're thinking to yourself, Jen doesn't have acne, I'm here to tell you it's because I was using the Proactive. I wish, though, that we had Proactive Clean when I was using it back in my 20s, because this line is great. It's formulated without parabens, phthalates, sulfates, cyclic silicones, and 100 plus other no-no ingredients that you don't want on your skin when you're trying to treat your acne. Proactive is America's #1 clear skin routine, and it's dermatologist developed and tested with clinically proven ingredients. They've helped more than 20 million people, including me, get on the clear skin journey. And I'm so excited for this new line. And then we have a code for you guys so you can get a discount.
Go to Proactive.com now and use the exclusive promo code MASCARA to get 20% off your first order. Again, get 20% off your first order when you use the code MASCARA. That's Proactive, Proactiv.com, and get 20% off your first order when you use the code MASCARA.
Proactive.com, and that code is MASCARA.
Did you know that you can swallow skincare? Jen and I know that the vitamin space can feel crowded and confusing. And to be honest, we turn down sponsorships from vitamin companies all the time. But we said yes to Ritual. It's different. They share their science and their sourcing with customers so you can feel good about what you're buying. And now they've got something new. Ritual Hyacera, a supplement that can enhance your skincare routine from the inside out.
That's right, fam. I did some homework on this one. Ritual's Hyacera has 2 of the best clinically studied ingredients. Ceratique, a phytoceramide-rich plant oil that helps to minimize the appearance of wrinkles, and Hyabest, a form of hyaluronic acid that helps to hydrate the skin from the inside out. Listen, I usually have issues with hyaluronic acid. I have talked about them on the podcast. Topical products with hyaluronic acid don't always work on me, but I have dry skin, so I want that extra hydration. And I've been taking the Hyacera supplement, and I am impressed. First of all, it's the coolest looking capsule I've ever seen. And doesn't give you the vitamin burps. I know you know what I'm talking about. You just swallow it, and there's like a vague vanilla experience, I'll call it, when you swallow it, but it's really nice and easy going down. And I also love the company's Made Traceable program, which lets you review their science and their sourcing info, which I did, obviously. Plus, Ritual supplements are vegan, gluten-free, soy-free, and they don't contain artificial colors.
Aging like fine wine, addressing fine lines, and making your skincare a little simpler every day. Hyacera from Ritual is a skin supplement you can actually trust. Ritual is offering our listeners 30% off during your first month. Visit ritual.com/mascara to start Ritual or add Hyacera to your lineup today. Hey everyone, welcome to a special episode of Fat Mascara. We have a big name here today. We've got Bethenny Frankel. If you do not know who she is, Bethenny was on the very first Real Housewives of New York. Yes, Frony to those who know. And she has become a self-made, well, she always was self-made, business person, TV producer, podcast host. She's got multiple New York Times best-selling books. She's a philanthropist, a social media influencer, and of course, a mom. And we'll talk about that a little bit in our interview. So whether or not you followed Roni or not, she's the biggest business person to come out of that entire franchise. And she's really monetized her fame in a way that few others, really no one else on that whole show has in a meaningful way. So if you're interested in business or reality TV and you don't know what the Bethenny clause is, I would Google it because it's very interesting. It's been very game-changing. So she's got a lot of projects on right now, including her podcast, Just Be, and Rewives. Her podcast has certainly been in the news right now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google that because there's a lot coming out of that whole scenario. But we are not here to chat about that. We are here to talk about beauty because for some time, Bethenny has become really a beauty influencer in her own right. But of course, not without controversy. And we're going to talk about that. So why don't we just get into it, all right? Hey, Bethenny.
Hi, how are you?
Good. All right, listen, you are living every beauty editor's dream, every beauty influencer's dream. I've been in beauty for 20 plus years now, and it is very hard for anyone working in beauty or just like who is enmeshed in the industry to be very objective and critical, because you're always going to be criticized of biting the hand that feeds you, or there's always some sort of deal on the horizon that maybe somebody thinks you're going to sabotage. It's very political. You just got out there and started talking and were really unfiltered and you were really real. How did you get so fearless?
I didn't know anything. I really didn't understand. It's like when I stay home for a while, then I go into the city and I go to a restaurant, it's packed. I'm like, wait, what? All these people have been just living their lives while I've been home sitting, thinking life is boring. So I didn't know that this world existed. I just walked into this room just out of curiosity, just talking about something in my desk, in my makeup drawer, and I didn't know anything. So I just shot straight from the hip, and no one owns me in this space. So no one owns me in any space, but I, like you said, I don't work for anyone. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to post ever again. If you notice recently, there's been other stuff going on, so I haven't been posting as much about beauty, but then all of a sudden something will strike me and I'll just want to mention it, whether it's expensive or drugstore, etc. So yeah, it is liberating. And many of the big brands reach out because they are also watching for research and development, and they too want the truth. I mean, it sometimes leaves a mark and can sting, and some brands I can see are scared to send me things. But a lot of brands, even if you said something bad about them, they just are happy you're talking about them, or they want to know, or they want to improve. So it's been an interesting, definitely honest ride.
So in your book, Business is Personal, that came out in paperback a few months ago. You were really one of the first self-made women on Roni. I would say you are the best in class example. I remember you were selling muffins in the grocery store. Mm-hmm. And then, some of the women around you had their own businesses. But then you hit it big with Skinny Girl Margaritas, and your viewers were along for the ride, and that felt very organic. Now, Real Housewives, it feels like a misnomer, because I feel like it's almost like the price of entry that everybody has to be like an entrepreneur to really feel relevant on that show.
Well, it's like wealth. On the Housewives, you don't have to be rich, you just have to appear rich. You have to present rich or new money or flashy or something polarizing about wealth and status and labels and logos. It was not that way when we came in. I mean, from the standpoint of the wealth and the over glam and things like that. But, there was a woman with the title Countess, so that kind of got you in the door, regardless of what that really meant in practice. And I remember Jill and Bobby, I think, had at least Ferrari or some kind of yellow car, but that was great for shooting. And it was a show, but it was a little campier and more tongue-in-cheek. So now you have to really seem like you're rich. It was a problem for production that Leah didn't have an apartment that presented well, and then she moved into another apartment, which is a great storyline. That happens a lot, or someone's hair doesn't present well, or their face. And you see they're getting new teeth the next season after reading all the comments. And the same thing is for a business. It has to present as if it's a business. It may not have to actually be one, but it has to seem like it could get you in the door. And that definitely wasn't the case when we started. Someone just sort of had to be married, which I broke that rule. But now it's evolved into something different. And more importantly, the women, as a result of my success, feel that they have to have something.
To legitimize them?
To monetize themselves, and to also have a storyline on the show.
So when I think of the businesses that have come out of there, like some of, the beauty business, they have other beauty businesses. There was almost a toaster business, which I still don't understand why that one didn't take off. That one actually did feel organic.
Yes.
Do you feel like you were just the first one, or do you feel like you were the one who did it right?
I was definitely the first one and the one who did it right. There has not been, no one was going in for that reason.
Yeah.
People started going in for that reason as a result of me. After the first or second season, Jill Zarin was saying, I need something, I need to have something. Years later, Carol Radziwill was saying she was researching white space. She wanted to find something to do to put it into the show. Ramona actually, at the same time, was talking about her husband's business, True Faith Jewelry. And then she came out with a skincare, and then she was doing her own jewelry. I would say Ramona was early. And I can't even say she did it wrong, because she did it. And, She did a licensing deal. You can't make that much money on a single licensing deal. And that was the model that she came in with. But she was always trying to do it. Alex and Simon weren't trying to do it. Luann didn't even think of it. Atlanta and Jersey didn't think of it initially. Not until my situation really popped off. And you've seen housewives have had so many different businesses. Kyle had a store, and then she had a clothing business, and Sheree had a clothing line, and Dorit had a swimwear line, and Gretchen had bags, and Candy had sex toys, and Teresa had the Fabellini, and Kathy Wakil had the Red Velvet cocktail after me. And there were many, many businesses that were attempted and failed, but you can't blame them for saying we have this platform and I want to grab something. It's just not as easy as it looks, and you don't make the amount of money as I made it look like you make. It's really hard to really pop off, and I easily could have not popped off. I mean, I'm an animal.
Have you tried Jenna Lyons' Love Scene lashes? We've had her on the show a couple of years ago when they launched.
I don't really wear that. What are they? They're fake lashes? No, I haven't, but I'm sure they're wonderful. She seems to know what she's doing. I don't know anything about her. I just have seen the clips. I just know that a friend of hers reached out to me for her to talk to me before going on the show.
So part of the Housewives appeal is that I find it combines this really aspirational, like you mentioned, it's really about like appearing rich, but also with really true reality. So I find a lot of the women look like real women. They're not 22 years old. They show them running out. I'm thinking really more to like the first season, but there are trickles of the first season that run through things. Like they shop high-low. A lot of them are working moms. They show them going to restaurants that a lot of the viewers might know. They are name-dropping real things. It's not SponCon. It's not totally plastic. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I know during the first seasons it felt like that, and during the Nene seasons it felt like that, and many Tamara, Vicky seasons it felt like that, and those are the people that I've put on my Rushmore, not because they may be the people you like the most or because of any reason besides that they were not afraid to get dirty and didn't compromise the content because of how much they wanted you to like them. I mean, there's a little bit of that, but there are some people, there's a whole 88% of housewives are presenting what they want you to see versus who they actually are. And the current season, I think, is the biggest offender of that because it is completely glossed over, produced, glamorized, hair and makeup. And the ratings are reflecting that. It's like 400,000 viewers. I mean, we had several million people listen to a podcast with Raquel. The medium is changing. So they have to spend millions of dollars and take 4 months to get up something that's going to get 400,000 viewers. Or you could just shoot something in your driveway and post it immediately and get millions. The whole thing is upside down, and I don't think it's real.
Well, I guess I'm thinking about maybe I'm reflecting my own taste, like the OG Housewives, where it was sort of women who were, many of them over 40, having real, you could say real conversations, but showing women who were over 40 in a way that felt they weren't reflective of the average bear.
Oh, you're saying back then. I thought you were talking about now. Oh, I agree with Oh, you said now even still. Oh, no, I 100% agree. Yeah, I was wearing a cheap sweater that was a hand-me-down sweater. Alex was in her apartment that was flawed, and I
oh my God, when they showed
like
the floors and the construction, like it didn't feel super SponCon, like everything.
No.
Like sparkling. Yeah, and
it
that
would be great. Yeah.
So when people say like the Housewives aesthetic, does that mean anything to you?
The Housewives aesthetic now is as many logos as you can fit on the screen at the same time, as many blinged out multiple types of hairstyles and ponytail. Let's give the credit where the credit's due. Erica Jane started the logo and glam and fashion renaissance on the show. In my life, Kristen and Carol and Heather came into the show, and Kristen, who was a model, was really caring about fashion and got glam every day. And I remember that really shocking me. And Carol was wearing all these different interesting outfits, and not really Heather as much. But
did she pay for her own glam? Like everyone who had their own glam, they paid for it, right?
Yes, that's why that people are going broke doing the show, because they think it's going to catch up later. That's an Alex and Simon thing, going into Cavalli, spending $30,000 that they're just betting on the show.
Oh my God.
So Erica Jane walked in and made it a show. And that's kind of who she was in her other videos. And it fit her persona. So she came in, and then Dorit And Kyle and Lisa all really came in to copy that. Like Dorit took on the hairstyle changes and stuff and took that to the next level. And Lisa Rinna was wearing F's and G's everywhere. And Kyle started with the hairstyles and everything. But Erica Jane started that, and then everybody else had to keep up. So Kyle, Dorit, and Lisa Rinna. And you saw the biggest transformation with Lisa because Lisa had her short hair and just the sheath dresses. And all of a sudden, one day, she's got characters and wigs. And I take credit where it's due, and I always give it where it's due. Erica deserves the credit for taking the hair and the makeup and the logos into where it is now. And then Atlanta started following suit because the logos became a real thing.
When you're getting married and planning a wedding, there's so many things to keep track of. It's a lot of fun, but it's also really overwhelming. But you know what can help with that? Our sponsor, Zola.
That's right. When you're getting married, it's not just about the big day. It's about all the days along the way. And Zola's here for all of them. I actually used Zola to help plan my wedding. And I remember the day Eric and I set up the website with all the little details to share with the guests and clicked publish. It was such a fun day. And then I used Zola, and they had this great part of their website building tool where you could give, I'll just call them gentle gift suggestions for your guests.
Very just gentle, tasteful suggestions.
You can do a registry, of course, but we created one of those cash funds for our honeymoon with pictures of where we wanted to go. Plus, Zola's also there on the days when you feel like, forget it, I don't even want to have a wedding. I remember I had that moment. It involved, there was like this huge family debate about the seating options at the wedding and whether they had backs or not. I kid you not, benches versus chairs, like almost derailed the whole wedding.
What did you eventually choose?
It's complicated. Let's talk about Zola, which is much easier because even on those days when things were, complicated, there's the Zola community. It's a free and judgment-free community of other engaged couples who know exactly what you're going through.
If you're getting married or planning to get married, or you're already married and you're just finally getting around to planning a celebration, start planning at Zola.com. That's Zola.com. Okay, everyone, this message comes to you from Vegamore. Jen, you know I am always trying to do right by my body, but when it comes to my hair and my scalp, finding a product that really works, and this is the big one, is made with good-for-you ingredients, it seems like a trade-off. We've talked about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Inside every cute pink bottle of Vegamore, I know that the product is 100% cruelty-free and it's never formulated with chemicals like parabens or hormones.
Inside the bottles is great, but outside the bottles is too, because they're really cute and they look really nice in my shower, all lined up. And you could do the Grow Essentials kit. First of all, I've been using this all summer. I just went to get my hair colored and my colorist was like, your hair is growing like crazy. I think it's the Vegamore. With the Grow Essentials kit, you get to try more than one amazing product at a great savings. And I love that it all looks nice lined up in the shower. And then you have the little serum outside and everything is pink and cute. Consistency is key. And my type A personality loves a kit with consistent products that look nice together and are great for my hair.
Jen, I meant to tell you, your hair looked really good the other night. I saw Jen the other night. Her hair looked awesome.
Thank you. Code Fat Mascara.
Give your hair the power of the little pink bottle with Vegamore. And for a limited time, Fat Mascara listeners are going to get 20% off their first order by going to vegamore.com/fatmascara and use the code FATMASCARA at checkout. That's vegamore.com/fatmascara, code FATMASCARA to save 20% on your first order. I'm going to spell it for you guys. vegamore.com/fatmascara. Again, vegamore.com/fatmascara, code FATMASCARA. It's like the toothpaste can't get put back in the tube, because I really think about, and it's funny, I think about the first season of Housewives, and I know a lot of younger people who were like kids when that came out who are now watching the first season. They're like, no, you have to watch the first one of the early ones because it's so much different just in its tone and its real, I say realness with loose quotation marks. I mean, only you're going to know how real it is, but it has a totally different vibe. All right. So you are, I'm a mother of a daughter, an only daughter. And I keep on thinking about what beauty is going to be like for her when she's a teenager. And when I was younger, I was really into beauty, but it was not this competitive sport. I was like this weirdo who was really into beauty, into makeup and skincare and all of this. And for me, it was this like niche interest for myself. Now, when I look at the future, I'm scared for my daughter. And I think about these memes. I don't know if you've seen them. I'm sure anyone who's listening knows. A lot of people know what I'm talking about. And it's like me at 13, and it's like a goofy braces, like freckle face girl, zit cream pajamas. And then it's like girls at 13 today, and they look like Bratz dolls, or they look like that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So
Yes.
what are your thoughts there as a mother of a preteen or almost teenage daughter?
Listen, you have to lead by example. So I think of Tinsley from our show, who always looks perfect and beautiful. And she says that her mother instilled, you cannot leave the house unless you're in full makeup and lashes. And so that's what, and I envy that in a way, because she's never not looking perfect when she's out. And I walk out, and when I walk out looking like and see people and see fans and they want to take pictures of me is astonishing. But that's what I saw. My mother was wearing overalls at the dry cleaner and to do errands, and only when she got decked did she get decked, which is kind of how I am. So my daughter is kind of a mixture. If we're going out to dinner, she wants to wear like a cute little dress, or even in the house, but it's for her. She puts on clothes for her because she loves her own fashion, but she loves it in a very inexpensive, affordable, like Penny Lane kind of way, which is earthy. And so I really nurture that. She's artsy, and like I lean into what her boheme style is because I like that, and that she's natural. So the messaging is important. But she's seeing from me that I'm never in makeup and don't care that much about it, ironically. And so she's in this house where all this stuff is coming in that was never here before, and all the makeup and the Charlotte Tilbury and the Sabe, all this stuff. And I see other kids that I know that come over and they say to me, oh my God, is that the Dior blush? Is that the whatever? Is that the She's a Doll, Patrick Ta? And they know it. And I don't love that because I don't want to be peers with a 13-year-old. Like if an adult says to me, my own friends barely know it. My girlfriend calls it Charlotte Tilbury. So my own friends don't know who Charlotte Tilbury is properly. They don't know who Patrick Ta is and all these TikTok people. And the 13-year-olds do. So I think it is more important with the modeling to really model natural and not caring about it, because it's all in my house. My daughter doesn't even have most of it. And it's a treat if I give her something. She's not loaded up with makeup. And she had a breakout, and I got her all these products that are clean and good for breakouts. And she said to me this morning, I said, here's a moisturizer, and here's the SPF, and here's the cleanser. And she said, what about a serum? I was like, you don't need a serum. You're 13. And then she had in her drawer setting spray just because it was in my stuff, my giveaway stuff. I'm like, you do not need, I promise you don't need primer and you don't need setting spray. I didn't know about these things till 52 years old.
Oh my God. I love this. Oh my God. All right, so let's move on to, I've only got so much time with you, Bethenny. I've got to make it count. So you are huge in the spirits world. And there's like no graceful transition between these questions.
It's okay.
I know.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Okay. You are huge in the spirits world. In addition to Skinny Girl, you've got Forever Young Rosé. But now I think this is super interesting. You have entered the world of, this is like the secret word for 2023, mocktails. Okay. You've got Mingle mocktails. Why do you think more women are embracing this?
I just think this is amazing, and I'm so glad I did it this way because I wanted to get in, and unlike Skinny Girl, I was late and I knew it, and I didn't want to develop it and start from the beginning.
That is very unlike you to be like part of the trend.
Well, what happened was I myself stopped drinking hard alcohol. I was only drinking wine as I got older and had medical issues and dehydration issues, and it really didn't work for me. And so I was myself just buying online just to see what this was like and what it would feel like to have mocktails, and you could put liquor in some of them. And so I started ordering, and there are brands that mimic the spirit. So ones that are like, this is mock vodka, mock tequila, mock gin. And I tried that and mixing it, but then I was mixing it with these drinks, and it was like a project. And I ordered ready to drink mocktails, which is effectively the non-alcoholic version of Skinny Girl. So they're lower in calorie, they're health oriented. And Mingle was one of the ones that I bought online, and I rated it positively, bought it with my own money, totally honestly. I thought it was great, and my assistant was like, wow, that tastes like a real cocktail. So the owner and founder reached out to me, and a series of conversations which will bore you, and here I am now. I own part of the company. I invested. I put my own money in, and so did my fiance. So it's a great, because women are getting into this, to answer your original question, because they want to feel like they're having the fun and flirtation. They don't want to drink a Sprite or a juice or some other thing. They want to drink a drink that tastes a little alternative. It tastes like a different thing, almost like how kombucha tastes like a little bit like a beer. It's got to taste a little weird because alcohol tastes weird. So you want it to not taste like you're drinking just juice. Cranberry and soda doesn't taste like a mocktail. You want to feel like you're part of something.
You want to shift. You don't want to be like a party pooper. But I'm not saying be a party pooper if you don't drink, but you get what I'm saying. You don't want it to be like, oh, I guess, yeah, I'll just have the Sprite.
No, you don't want to be a pariah drinking water with lemon and it stands out. You want to have something bubbly and possibly fruity and alternative, and it's like you're drinking a drink. You're having a mocktail.
I know the feeling because sometimes I don't drink, and then it's like someone will be like, oh, you just want a Diet Coke. Oh, why do you Diet Coke? Yeah, it's like, yeah. I get it.
Right, and it almost looks the same. You could order it. You could be like, I'll have a mingle.
I like that. But why do you think, though, there is this? Because there's a huge movement. I mean, I know everyone's favorite show and Just Like That, but there was a whole storyline about Miranda coming off alcohol.
Yeah.
And Kyle Richards isn't drinking. I mean, there's a ton of pop culture moments of people not drinking right now. So what's that about?
Well, I was in a restaurant, Craig's in Hollywood, when I first had the idea to get into it. And I said to the server, are these mocktails? Does anyone order these? Because they had these creative mocktails. And she said, oh my God, they're so popular. And she said, there's a whole world on podcasting for sober curious. I'd never heard that term. I was like, sober curious. Because people were like, I feel like shit. I want to say it out loud. I want to be part of that. It's exciting. I'm jealous of the people that look like they feel better and they're saying it changed their life. But I don't want to like make this big drastic statement that might make me feel weird. Just be that person. You just might want to dip in and dip out. You might want to put some cocktail in there. You might not be able to control your drinking, but like you don't want to make a big statement about it. You didn't ruin the party yet for yourself where you have to be in rehab. Like you don't know what to do. You're just like sober curious. It was brilliant. And I thought, oh yeah, I get that. But then there are these other people that are pushing it on people. Like, do you not drink chia seed and acai and goji berries every day? Because you'll feel so much better. And ever since I stopped drinking, life is so like, that's really vile and annoying. It's like, shut up. We're not ready for that. We just want to like not feel like shit half the time.
I know. I love that. I love that. Beauty is a very personal category to me. I've been obsessed with this world since, as I mentioned, like I could speak. But a lot of people are entering in that space. Why do you think this is a space that so many people enter?
I mean, YouTube hasn't been that mainstream. It is, but like people are still catching on. There are a lot of people that have millions of followers and views that are alternative, that wouldn't play or rate on the Today Show. They're just like this alt world, which is amazing. And Instagram is sort of more mainstream like Facebook was. And then TikTok came in and it was these niche videos of just knowing how to do different things, from organize to cook to whatever, and beauty was a big part of that. And it was a new world, and these young kids via the dances got into it, so they started watching this content, and now everybody is a beauty expert. And I learned how to do my own makeup on TikTok. Like I literally know how to do my makeup now because of TikTok. That's staggering. So it made it available to everyone, and it popped off all these brands, and there are literally beauty brands that are successful solely because of TikTok, like brands you would have never heard of if they didn't have a presence here.
What are some great gems that you have found? You've got a great nose for finding great brands and, scouting great businesses. What are some of your favorite products?
As a result of this journey, True Botanicals, this amazing botanical brand that I love and no one would have ever known about it, and Merit. I never heard of Merit, and then I thought it was so well designed and so creamy. And I didn't know who the two Patricks are, Patrick Ta, Patrick Star. I didn't know about Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez. Like now you're seeing, today I saw a video from Gwen Stefani because someone's like pushing her out there being like, dude, you need to be talking on TikTok, even though it feels counterintuitive to you and it's awkward for us too. Because she doesn't seem natural on there in the way she's doing it. And Gaga too, someone pushed her on stage and was like, you gotta be House Labs. Well, you got to be on TikTok because Selena's doing an incredible job at it. Hailey Bieber with Rhode is doing an incredible job at it. And some aren't as good at it. Ironically, Addison Rae wasn't as good at it. Her brand shut down. It's the way you do it. Certain people hit and then the brand hits.
And then last question. I was talking to a beauty founder the other day and she told me that she's on this like group chat with all these other beauty founders. And I don't know why, but this kind of blew my mind. She was like name dropping like major heavies. Do you have a group chat with some other founders? Because I don't know, this kind of just blew my mind. Are you more of a solo roller? Like, how do you?
Yeah, I don't even know what I would talk to them about. I don't care that much about it. Like, I'm just curious about it, but it's not that deep for me. I had the woman who owns who owned Hourglass asked to speak to me. All these people, the beauty blender person I spoke to, Indeed Labs keeps trying to talk to me, and I talked to her once. Like, all these founders want to talk to me. Oh, Nicholas Perricone wanted to do a line with me. And everybody was a big expert of why I was doing this. It was a big conspiracy theory. I was starting my own line. It's a big secret.
Are you?
No, there's nothing. No. And I could, because everybody wants to do it, and I could make millions of dollars. So all these people that think I'm like here for smash and grabs on my podcast, I could be on the Housewives for millions of dollars. I could be doing beauty brands for millions of dollars, advances. I don't want to do it. It's bullshit to me.
What are you going to do next?
Doing everything. What do you mean? My podcast was #1 in the world this week. My podcast is exploding. I have my YouTube channel is doing incredibly well. I've been offered every opportunity under the sun. I just do what I want to do. So like nothing. I would like, I guess I'm taking over the reality space with Reality Reckoning and starting a union. I just do what I feel like doing, and it turns into something.
That's a fun place to be.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bethenny.
Awesome. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us, or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Razor One product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening. When you're getting married and planning a wedding, there's so many things to keep track of. It's a lot of fun, but it's also really overwhelming. But you know what can help with that? Our sponsor, Zola. That's right. When you're getting married, it's not just about the big day. It's about all the days along the way. And Zola's here for all of them. I actually used Zola to help plan my wedding. And I remember the day Eric and I set up the website with all the little details to share with the guests and clicked publish. It was such a fun day. And then I used Zola, and they had this great part of their website building tool where you could give, I'll just call them gentle gift suggestions for your guests. Very just gentle, tasteful suggestions. You can do a registry, of course, but we created one of those cash funds for our honeymoon with pictures of where we wanted to go. Plus, Zola's also there on the days when you feel like, forget it, I don't even want to have a wedding. I remember I had that moment. There was like this huge family debate about the seating options at the wedding and whether they had backs or not. I kid you not, benches versus chairs, like almost derailed the whole wedding. What did you eventually choose? It's complicated. Let's talk about Zola, which is much easier because even on those days when things were, complicated, there's the Zola community. It's a free and judgment-free community of other engaged couples who know exactly what you're going through. If you're getting married or planning to get married, or you're already married and you're just finally getting around to planning a celebration, start planning at Zola.com. That's ZOLA.com. Okay, everyone, this message comes to you from Vegamore. Jen, you know I am always trying to do right by my body, but when it comes to my hair and my scalp, finding a product that really works, and this is the big one, is made with good-for-you ingredients, it seems like a trade-off. We've talked about this a lot. Inside every cute pink bottle of Vegamore, I know that the product is 100% cruelty-free and it's never formulated with chemicals like parabens or hormones. Inside the bottles is great, but outside the bottles is too, because they're really cute and they look really nice in my shower all lined up. And you could do the Grow Essentials kit. First of all, I've been using this all summer. I just went to get my hair colored and my colorist was like, your hair is growing like crazy. I think it's the Vegamore. With the Grow Essentials kit, you get to try more than one amazing product at a great savings. And you know I love that it all looks nice lined up in the shower. And then you have the little serum outside and everything is pink and cute. Consistency is key, and my type A personality loves a kit with consistent products that look nice together and are great for my hair. Jen, I meant to tell you, your hair looked really good the other night. I saw Jen the other night. Her hair looked awesome. Thank you. Code Fat Mascara. Give your hair the power of the little pink bottle with Vegamore. And for a limited time, Fat Mascara listeners are going to get 20% off their first order by going to vegamore.com/fatmascara and use the code Fat Mascara at checkout. That's vegamore.com/Fat Mascara, code Fat Mascara to save 20% on your first order. I'm going to spell it for you guys. vegamore.com/Fat Mascara. Again, vegamore.com/Fat Mascara, code Fat Mascara.